Hey, Mr. West here. Let's get some more flight footage. I increased the pitch angle on the motor even more, and I moved the CG back slightly. I should say I moved the main batteries back slightly, which will have a minor effect on the CG location. But I'm gonna creep it back just a little at a time and see if I can improve flight performance. Going to the hat cam here. Get her fired up. I'm also going to keep track of the time. So I'll do a 15-minute clock. Yep. Yep. Do a 15-minute clock, stop, switch batteries, and then go from there. And then I'll, when I do the recharge, I'll see what the refill is. Add the two together, divide it by 2, get an average of the time, and figure out to estimate the time flight with 2 batteries together. I'll go from there. Gentle breeze still out of the west. Cool, a little bit hazy. Loving the sunshine though. Here we go. I don't have FPV gear on yet. Still working on this, getting the time down and get the CG down right. So I guess you can call it still a testing phase. Always interesting on takeoff. Half throttle. All right, with the pitch change, I now have 0 elevator trim at half throttle. It's kind of what I was hoping for. So it seems I've arrived at the right pitch angle. A little bit choppy. Okay, I'm going to throttle up. Oh, she stayed level. Wow, it's pretty choppy. Turbulent. Okay, so my CG after that last adjustment, I misspoke earlier in an earlier video. It's actually closer to 14.25 now, 14.125 maybe. From the trailing edge to the CG axle right here with this bird. And that gyro's really acting and squirrely. I definitely like this performance better. That moving back and the thrust angle made a big difference. Now she's behaving normally in more areas than just a couple. This is that half throttle. Downwind is behaving nicer too. I'm not losing authority like I was. I'm going to come in for a missed approach. Getting a little low right there. Throttling back. Driving through. Having a gyro on one side is like hitting a speed bump. Well, in turbulent wind, is like hitting a speed bump on only one side of your car. Driving through fast. Pops you up hard on that one side. Oh yeah. Even though it's a little turbulent, actually more so than yesterday, I'm liking the behaviors at slower speeds. Much more control at slow speed now. So yeah, combination of CG and thrust angle. I'm sure it's more about the CG. As I got closer to where it felt better, but didn't go quite far enough. I'm going to go back another 1/4 inch on the battery. So I'm trying to land right here. Throttling and sloping down. Nice. There it is. Just slope down, roll it out. Adding a little throttle, sinking faster than I want. Throttle back. Going around. Got a little squirrely down there. Another rule of thumb is don't force it. If it's not lined up, don't force it. Here we go. This is a good altitude right here. Throttling back a little. Let the nose sink. Throttling all the way off. Sinking. She's sinking faster too now. Isn't that interesting? Lined up, let her sink. Ooh. Definitely got a left turn in the wheels. So if you do the inline skate thing, take more time to align the wheels, or the axle rather, and an axle that is the right diameter for the wheels that you have. Okay, I've got 8 minutes to go. I'm going to move the CG back just a smidge. Yeah, I just moved back like 1/4 inch on the battery. I have no idea now where the CG is, other than it's pretty darn close to 14. So a suggestion too on hand launch is where you hold your hand. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hold it well in front of the CG. That's half throttle. So what's going to happen is likely she'd be a lot more pitch heavy or pitch sensitive. Okay, that's off, hands off right there. I didn't change any trim where it was sinking a little bit earlier. Going around. Coming in for an approach, throttling back, off, throttle off, trim pulling up a little throttle, throttle off completely. That's a pretty thing. When I changed the thrust angle on this motor, I ended up with, it's not a perfect thing, right? I didn't put a perfect wedge block in there. So the block is actually giving me a little right thrust, which will make a right turn. So there. Climbs real nice. Throttling back. With that gyro on there, when it makes a correction, it makes it want to turn for a moment. Hands off. Little right. It ballooned a little bit. Yeah, definitely slow flight characteristic has improved. Look at that. That's downwind, and there's a good 2 to 4 breeze. I'm going to start staying close to the downwind turn. As soon as I hear the alarm or lose battery power, I'm going to go for quick landing. I should probably be up a little higher. The nose likes to drop in on turn, likes to drop down, not in. She sinks on a turn. I suppose it's to be expected. Then a little up trim right there. So she's fairly hands-off on pitch, level flight. Balloons up a little into the wind, sinks a little on downwind. Should be getting pretty close to time. Just ever slightly over half throttle. Getting a little windy up there. With the wind, I'm getting altitude, naturally gaining altitude. Wow, pretty gusty. Alright, there's the alarm, throttling off. Might be able to make it. Letting her sink. Should be alright. Woo-hoo! Okay, that was 15 minutes. I'm gonna switch batteries. I still need to make a Y harness. Okay, I'm gonna stop and start the video again because it'll only go to like 27, 28 minutes. So I'll do a part 2. We'll go from there.